far as, the parallels in politics. Did you take any parallels from any current politicians when you got cues for researching this role?
No, I didn't. Not from any particular one, but I have been involved in the world of politics actively since I was 14. So I was around local politicians then a lot. I was around, state politicians and then national politicians, international politicians. So I know how they move and breathe.
I'm Brian from the Marvel Report. My question is, I was a big fan coming into it when you got cast. I was like, okay, I'm in. Now, I've seen that Mariah has quite the temper. Can you kind of talk about where that comes from and what your backstory is of the character?
Quite the temper.
Yeah.
You know what? Mariah is a powerful woman. And she's a woman that grew up in a family where you didn't tell girls to be nice and sit down.
Right.
Mom Mabel was a powerful woman. So her fire hasn't been put out. It's been trained in a certain way because she's been sent to good schools. So she understands, okay, power is a mind game. I do run into a bulletproof brother eventually, but power. So then obviously I got to figure out I need that power on my side. But it is a mind game, and so she is. She has breeding, but she is a Stokes. She married into the Dillards.
Right.
She is a Stokes, and so we're a family of strivers. Cornell is powerful, but he's using the old method of how black men became successful before avenues were opened up to you. So every American fortune is built on quasi-legal activity, some of it outright illegal. The 8 families, 10 families that have been at the top since the beginning, none of the stuff they did was legal. And so imagine a black family decades back, for them to, when just our presence was illegal, for them to be able to build, an empire or something to sit on or something to pass along, well, it had to be built on some quasi-legality. He's still operating in that same realm. I have been sent off to school. We're cousins. We're very close. But like with all cousins, there's certain ones that get sent to the other room when you really want to talk about the stuff, the children and the women shouldn't know about. Sometimes one of the girls might get to say, but Mariah was sent to the other room, and Cornell stayed. And not only that, so he has inherited that. It's his job to maintain the legacy. But we're at a point where the struggle is, there's a new way of doing this. Let's get political power, is what she's saying. And he's going, I know, this is what we know. This is what I know. So for me, he is the man of the family, and I love him. He's doing that. But as you see, it's the old and the new butting up against each other.
Yeah. And it almost gets into an inability to see where you're coming from because of the exposure that Mariah has to the world of legitimate business and politics, and Cottonmouth always kind of living within this silo and going about doing business in a way that isn't always legitimate, of almost not totally getting where she's coming from sometimes. And well, this is what I know, so this is how I'm gonna go about doing it, and how that creates a tension. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much. I might screw it up.
Well, Mahershala, I wanted to ask too. I mean, you're playing the villain in this show. When you're playing these kinds of roles, do you learn more about yourself in the process, or do you just completely detach yourself from the character?
I learn about myself in every part. Hopefully, whether it's someone who the audience views as a villain, because when you look at a villain, in part, a world is created by every writer, creator, director, or whatever. And so when the audience says, oh, that person is the villain, it's because they have someone who is is the moral voice to bounce off the actions of the person who's deemed as the villain. So, but I myself am not looking at the character as a villain. My first job is to advocate for that character, to understand where he's coming from and why he makes the choices he makes. But hopefully, I learned from every character, and because I feel like you get what you're supposed to get in your time, and that those characters are meant for you to add something to your life as much as you're there to lift that person off the page and make them a real human being.
Alfre, can you talk a little bit about being kind of one of the first female kind of villains / anti-heroes in the Marvel Universe? How does that feel?
Oh, I am on the up and up. I'm a New York City Councilwoman. Yes, there is quite a strain of corruption that runs through politics.
In a very big safe, in a very big room.
But as you know, she is not villainous. But how does it feel being? I'll tell you how it feels being in a Marvel story with Misty Knight. And although she thinks she's something, but that does excite me with Misty and them coming off Jessica Jones to Misty. I think the girls are going to be very excited, and the boys are going to be excited for a different reason. I mean, so the girls will be excited for all them reasons too. But it's just you feel something is happening. We're opening a new door, and I think everybody's going to be terrifically excited about it. Between the music, between the stories, between the characters, and the fact that Cheo is such a brilliant writer, and he loved and knows Harlem from its inception so much. It's like the richest. It's the richest thing I've ever stepped into, frankly. And so, and it's bulletproof. so there's all that, fighting and stuff happening. It's
How you
just
spell that? How you spell that?
So it is. But that's Alfre reacting to that. Mariah wants, one of the things that Alfre wants that coincides with that is, I want Harlem to remain Harlem. I want people to come to Harlem and want to be in Harlem and be a Harlemite. I don't want people coming to Harlem. Now, I just bought in 10 years ago. Well, I didn't even buy it. It was my husband. I said, Uptown. I said, But it is what you were saying. It's like a neighborhood. You're in New York City, and it's not just a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood with ancestry, cultural ancestry, actual, ancestry. It is the place that you come. Like everybody, whenever people go to Africa, like I feel they come from Denmark. I feel like I'm home. Everybody feels at home in Africa for a reason, and you feel at home in Harlem. And through the years, even when its fortunes were changing, and I'd be scared to be up in Harlem unless I was with somebody, depending on what time of day and where I was. It still was like, but it's Harlem, I got to go. And so, yeah, and that's where you knew you were going to hear the music. It was going to be pure. You're going to have the food. I mean, I can eat it every night, but you're going to have the food. You're going to have, it was going to be, you could say hallelujah. You could do everything up there. And if you got in trouble, there was one of the best lawyers up there to help set it straight. So all that to say, I love that it's not just set in Harlem. It's set in the state of mind that Harlem has been. And so that when people now come to Harlem, they come for that.
Thank you. Now, Mahershala, speaking as a House of Cards fan, I find that you're really good with kind of taking character evolutions from beginning to where they are now. Cornell starts out young, withdrawn, focused on music, and he kind of evolves into Cottonmouth as you know. Can you kind of speak to that?
Evolves into Cottonmouth as well.
Like, as we know him.
Gotcha.
Can you kind of speak to that evolution, your character's evolution?
A lot of that has to do with Cheo, honestly, and in that he just laid the groundwork for me to be able to show up and play off of other wonderful actors I got to work with, and I think at a certain point you can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear when it's not feeling right, and I feel frustrated when I feel that, and I need that feeling to go away. And so because it's hard for me to go to sleep at night when I feel like I didn't at least, whether it makes the cut or not, I gotta walk away feeling like we got it, like and then we got it within certain parameters, at least, that we got down to that truth. And sometimes it's a physical thing, sometimes sometimes it is the writing, and like, oh, can we make a little adjustment here, and then boom, they change that word and it opens up. But Cheo did a wonderful job of really arcing out the narrative and his really working out his arc and setting the trajectory, and I could see that. I got to rap with him about it from time to time and clue me in on the stuff that was coming, so it kind of set me up for what was going on in the moment, how to help set those things up. But Cheo, like, honestly, because he was there, or emailing or calling or what have you, and then working off of these other wonderful actors.
What helps each of you get into character?
Into character. I don't get into character. Yeah, it's just like you're telling somebody's story. And I've learned so much. I know who she is because I built her bit by bit. I start working with dialect. I start at the grocery store as soon as I know where my character is, and I start to toss their dialect into my conversation every day. Everybody around me is used to the dialect changing, so that by the time I get to set, it's natural to me, and when I get emotional, it doesn't go away. And so I'm already there. I work on her sensibility. I know who she is. The character's always entirely different from Alfre, because we all, out of all the billions of us ever born, none of us have the same fingerprints. Well, our job as an actor is to stand a character up. And what makes Mariah different when you describe her from any other middle-aged, successful African-American woman, went to, Penn, went to this, but you're still talking several thousand people, if not. So what makes her specific? So when it's time, when I put on that thing, I'm not her. When they say action, that's when I let Mariah speak.
Wow, that was wonderful. I think there's certain things that I just kind of tune in a little bit to when I get to work. I make a playlist for all my characters. So if I'm in my trailer and I'm playing music that is specific to Cottonmouth, but as soon as you start putting on that wardrobe and you're getting the makeup trailer and you're looking at your sides, like it's all kind of it's all kind of dropping in, and they call action, and you kind of know if you're present as letting that character speak or not, and if it feels like you talking, then we got a problem.
It's interesting, like with a play, you actually put on a character more because you start at the top and you wear it all the way through. But working on camera, it's stop, start, stop, start. If I know some actors stay like that, but it's like then they're not breathing, so it's not flowing. Things have to occur to you. In life, they occur to us. We never know what we're going to say next. And so that's like trusting your instrument and trusting your homework that you've already done. As soon as they say cut, then you either action, then it's right there. Ta-da! Where are you writing from?
Black Girl Nerd.
Black Girl Nerd. And you, Black Girl Nerd?
Oh no, I'm hypeable.com.
Hyper.com.
Hypeable.
Hypeable. Well, okay, we are so excited for people to see this. I mean, it's just like, y'all just have no idea where it's going. It is brand new. And I think everybody, different ages, different countries, it's a real gift.
Did you guys read some comic books from your kids to get familiar with it?
No.
Because it's different from the source material.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it also, that doesn't help you act. So, and they even gave us the complete Luke Cage, But I looked at it afterwards because it's a different genre. And so what is required as an actor and to bring something to life, when I would see the images and the words and the kapows, I can't act that, and it takes me out of. But what I can do is he was able to translate it into a reality, and so he laid those moments in. So the viewer will understand when that moment happens. That does feel lifted off the page of the comic, but as an actor, you get into trouble.